Have you ever met someone incredibly intelligent, thoughtful, curious, well-informed, but they constantly doubt themselves? Meanwhile, someone else, far less capable, walks around like they have all the answers? If that feels familiar, you're not imagining it. There's a well-documented psychological phenomenon at play here, one that explains why smarter people often underestimate themselves, while less competent individuals tend to be overly confident. It's known as the intelligence paradox, and it's one of the most fascinating quirks of human psychology. Let's dive into why this happens. The Dunning-Kruger effect. One of the most cited explanations is the Dunning-Kruger effect, discovered by psychologists David Dunning and Justin Kruger in 1999. They found that people with lower ability at a task are more likely to overestimate their skill level, while those who are more skilled tend to underestimate theirs. Why? Because incompetent people lack the ability to recognize their own incompetence. They don't know what they don't know. So, they assume they're doing great. In contrast, smarter individuals, who are more aware of the complexity of knowledge, often see how much they still have to learn. This self-awareness makes them more likely to question their own abilities, not because they're not smart, but because they understand just how vast the unknown really is. The curse of knowledge. There's another cognitive bias that plays a role here, the curse of knowledge. Once we know something, we tend to assume everyone else knows it too. This leads smart people to downplay their own intelligence, assuming that what they understand must be common sense. In reality, it's not. But because their insights come naturally to them, they assume they're not particularly insightful or unique. Over time, this leads to a distorted self-image. I'm not that smart. Everyone probably knows this already. They're wrong, but their humility masks the true depth of their intellect. Intelligence breeds doubt. Truly intelligent people are often the most critical thinkers. And critical thinkers are, by definition, always questioning, not just the world around them, but themselves as well. They ask, "Am I right about this? Did I miss something? Is there a better way?" This constant self-reflection can lead to self-doubt, but that doubt is also what drives them to become even smarter. Paradoxically, the very trait that makes them question themselves is also what elevates their thinking beyond average. This is why many intelligent people appear unsure, while others, less introspective, can project false certainty. Cultural conditioning and modesty. Let's not forget the role of culture and upbringing. Many people are taught from a young age not to brag about their intelligence. Especially in environments where confidence is rewarded more than competence, modesty can become a defense mechanism. Smart people may learn to downplay their abilities so they don't stand out, appear arrogant, or make others uncomfortable. Over time, this becomes internalized, not just as modesty, but as genuine self-doubt. Ironically, those who loudly proclaim how smart they are may not actually be as smart, but they've never been taught to question themselves. Imposter syndrome. A big one, imposter syndrome, affects a disproportionate number of high achievers. This psychological pattern involves feelings of inadequacy and fear of being exposed as a fraud, despite evident success or competence. It's especially common among gifted individuals, perfectionists, and high performers. Why? Because the smarter you are, the more you're aware of your limitations, and the harder you tend to be on yourself. Many intelligent people attribute their success to luck, timing, or external factors, rather than their own ability. Meanwhile, they assume everyone else is far more capable or confident. Awareness of complexity. Smart people are often more aware of how complex the world truly is. They understand that most problems don't have easy answers. They see the nuance, the uncertainty, and the unknowns. This awareness of ambiguity leads them to be more cautious about their claims. They're less likely to say, "I'm 100% sure," because they know nothing is ever 100%. Ironically, this intellectual humility can make them appear less confident, even when they're actually right. In contrast, those who don't understand the full complexity often oversimplify, leading them to speak with unwarranted certainty. They set the bar higher. Another key reason: smart people hold themselves to higher standards. They're not satisfied with being good enough. They compare themselves not to the average person, but to the best minds in their field, or even to their own ideal version of themselves. So even when they're doing better than 90% of people, they may feel like they're falling short. Because in their mind, they haven't reached what they know is possible. And that gap between potential and performance can feel like failure, even when it's actually success. So, who's really smart? This all brings us to a bigger question. What does it really mean to be intelligent? Is it the person who speaks the loudest? The one who brags the most? Or is it the one who quietly keeps learning, reflecting, and asking better questions? True intelligence often hides behind curiosity, humility, and quiet confidence. It doesn't scream. It listens. It doesn't claim to know everything. It embraces the fact that knowledge is infinite. So if you've ever doubted yourself, second-guessed your thoughts, or felt like everyone else is more certain than you, maybe that's not a weakness. Maybe it's proof that you're seeing the world more clearly than most. The paradox is real. The smarter you are, the more you might underestimate yourself. But that doesn't mean you're wrong. It means you're thinking deeply. So keep asking questions, stay curious, and never let false confidence drown out real wisdom. If this video resonated with you, don't forget to like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe. We explore the psychology behind how we think, grow, and see the world differently. Subscribe for more deep insights into the human mind, and start owning your intelligence. You've earned it.